I feel so awkward in intros now because when I watch my videos back, I feel like I say the same thing every single time. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Frida. If you guys have never been here before, thank you guys for joining me today. And in today's video, I'm actually going to be showing you guys my everyday makeup routine. I've done a couple of these on my channel, but I like to update them with the products that I am using currently. And this is just what I do on an everyday basis. This may be a lot for some of you, but this is just what I'm comfortable with. This is the amount of makeup that I'm comfortable wearing. I do like to go a little bit more glam because I do work in a salon with my clients daily, so I'd like to look a little bit more dressed up than just like your typical person running errands. So yeah, this is just what I'm comfortable with. This is what I do. I know a lot of you guys like neutral looks a lot more than colorful looks, so I try to throw those in every once in a while. But with that being said, if you guys are interested on seeing what I do on a daily basis, then let's just go ahead and get started into today's video. And while you guys are watching today's video, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell right next to it so you don't miss any new videos that I post. I do post 2 to 3 times a week, so you don't want to miss any of those new ones. Now let's just go ahead and get started. To start off, I have really dry skin, so I like to go in with the moisturizer, and I like this one from First Aid Beauty. This is a coconut water cream. This product came out pretty recently, but as you guys can tell, I don't really have that much product left in this container. I like to go in and moisturize the skin before I go in with any primer, even though my primers are typically moisturizing as well. I like this just because, especially in the winter, I get very, very dry right here on the creases of my nose, and then any breakouts that I may have and underneath my eyes. So I just like to put a little bit of that moisturizer all over my skin, and then I go in with the primer, and this one just so happens to be from First Aid Beauty. I have the travel size one because I just ran out of my big one. I've gone through like 10 tubes of this. This is the Coconut Skin Smoothing Primer from First Aid Beauty, and I like this one because it seems to smooth out pores, not completely, but it smooths out any like uneven texture that you may have while moisturizing at the same time. And like I said, very dry skin over here, so my skin is moisturized and primed, so now I'm going in with foundation. And when I think of my everyday foundation, one that I trust, one that I know is gonna last me a long time, it's not going to sweat off, it's not going to budge throughout this summer heat. And this is a Lancome Tint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Makeup, and I'm going to mix 2 shades today because I'm in between a self-tan and my self-tan washing off. Like, I should have done it last night, but it's still kind of there, as you guys can see. So I'm going to mix 340 and 370. I'm gonna use a little bit more of 340. I tend to go with beauty blenders for the summer with foundations just because I do like the way that it shears it out a little bit. And if you guys can see, it's still good coverage, but it's not super, super cakey on my skin, which I love. And this foundation lasts a long time regardless if it's sheared out or not. This is just one layer of the foundation blended in, and I really like the coverage that it gives. It's just very even coverage. It's not super cakey. It looks very natural and very radiant at the same time. So now I'm just going to go in and conceal, and I like to use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This shade is light neutral, which is a lot tanner than what I usually go for, but because I am tanner, this is a perfect shade. And then I just mix it with this Tarte Shade Tape Concealer in the color Fair Beige. This is my winter shade, summer shade. Since I'm in between, I'm just going to mix them. And I typically go in with a Naked Skin Concealer and just place it underneath right here to really brighten up. And then I only use a Tarte Shape Tape for coverage underneath my eyes. So I'll just take a little bit right underneath right here to help cover up the bags, because I do have really bad bags underneath my eyes. And I just use that same beauty sponge, whether it's a beauty blender or my Morphe sponge. I'll just go in and kind of pat it into the skin. This next step might be too much for you guys, but I personally like to cream contour. I just feel like it gives a really nice bronze effect to the skin. I found that this is the quickest and the easiest cream contour that I've used. I know when I first started getting into it, this is one of the first products that I tried, and because it's so creamy, it blends in so effortlessly. As you guys can see, it's all blended out just in like no time, but it gives the skin a really, really nice bronze effect, especially during the summertime. I like to go in more of like a chisel contour in the winter time, but because it is summer, I just like this to kind of give me a nice sun-kissed look to my face without it looking too chiseled or too harsh. Now for setting everything, I like to use my Mercier translucent powder, and to set right underneath my eyes, I just like to pat in the setting powder. I don't take a ton of it and bake. The only place that I bake, as you guys can see, is right here on the sides of my nose, just to make my nose look a little bit more chiseled, because I do personally have a big nose. I am fully aware of that, and you guys have pointed it out 10,000 times. So I just like to kind of dab it into my skin everywhere else. Nose is baking. I'm going in with one of my favorite summertime bronzers, and this is the MAC Give Me Sun. As you guys can tell, I've used quite a bit of it. I don't really like my face to look muddy and ashy, especially during summertime, so this is just a really good warm summertime bronzer. But now I'm just putting on a little bit of blush, and this has become quickly one of my favorite blushes, and this is the Benefit Gold Rush blush. I like it because it's not too warm, but it's not too pink at the same time, and it's not like super ashy, and like I said, it's not too warm either, so I just really like this shade. I've especially been loving this blush because it reminds me a lot of the Milani Luminoso blush before they reformulated it. I don't know why they reformulated the color, but I like this one because I feel like it's more of a dupe, even though it's more expensive, which kind of sucks, but I've tried not using up my Milani Luminoso because that is like my all-time favorite blush. So yeah, now that I've used that, I'm going to go ahead and highlight. This is one of my favorite highlighters ever. This is the Ofra Rodeo Drive Highlight. As you guys can see right here, I have hit pan on this highlighter, and that was very, very quickly. Like, this is one of the most recent highlight purchases that I got, but I've been using it nonstop since I got it, and I feel like it looks really good for wintertime, really good for summertime, so it's one of those highlighters that's good for any time of the year. So that's why it's so easy for me to use it up. It does take a couple months, don't get me wrong. It's not like I used it up in like a week, but it definitely gets used quite a bit. I'm just wiping off that baking powder that we used on the nose so we can move on to the eyebrows. Right now I actually don't have my eyebrow pencil. That's my favorite because I did run out. It's the Benefit Precisely My Brow, but as you guys can see, it's all gone, unfortunately. So I'm just going to use this NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is in the color Taupe. It works pretty good. It's like kind of a dupe to the Benefit one, but not completely. I don't really like to fill in my brows that much, so I just use this mostly towards the arch of my brow to fill it in. To set them into place, I use the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, and just kind of comb through them. I keep my eyeshadow super simple because I do typically like to wear falsies, so I'm going to use the color Strip inside of this Lorelei Los Angeles color. It's just a really, really warm kind of mustardy shade, and I use that in my transition area just to kind of warm up the eyes a little bit, give them a little bit of dimension, but nothing too crazy. This is like my everyday go-to look, and that's why I love this palette, because it is pretty neutral, but you can do some crazy looks and then neutral looks also. I use a little bit more of a tapered brush. This is just from Wet n Wild, and I'm going to take the color Bear, which is like a peachy shade, and I'm going to work that into the crease, but also on the outer corner. I don't want to deepen out the outer corner too much, just because, like I said, this look isn't meant to be dramatic. It's just meant to be super quick and super easy. And then all over the lid and the inner corner, I'm gonna use this shade, which is called Stark. It's the lightest shade inside of the palette. It's a really good inner corner highlight and a good lid shade. It's just good to brighten up any look. So if you guys are wanting to kind of spice this palette up or spice the look up a little bit, you can get some colored eyeliners and just do like a colored wing or underneath your lower lash line, whatever you guys want to do. But this is just what I use every single day just to do like a simple look. I'm gonna pop some lashes on, and I usually use the Ardell Demi Wispies, the Studio Effect ones, because those are really cute and really minky, but unfortunately I'm out of them, so I'm just using whatever I have in my drawer. These are the Euphoria by Jazzi in the style Honey Love. They're gorgeous, gorgeous lashes and they don't look too dramatic. So I'm just going to pop those on real quick off camera because it takes me forever to do so. And I'll be right back to do the lips with you guys so we can finish off this look. So my lashes are on and now I'm just going to coat my bottom lashes. I don't like to put anything on the lower lash line just because it is a natural everyday look for me and I just don't really bother with putting on any eyeliner or any heavy smoky eye down there just to keep it a little bit more natural and wide awake. So I'm going to use the Lancome Mercier big mascara. I don't really know how to say that word. And I'm just gonna coat these bottom ones. If you guys hear any noises, just ignore them. Someone's outside mowing the lawn. I don't know who it is, but they're making quite a ruckus out there. So just ignore that. But now for lips, I do something simple. I just do lip liner and a gloss. And so I'm using this Essence Long Lasting Lip Liner. I like this because it's retractable and it is like $2 or $3, nothing crazy. I don't spend a lot of money on lip liners because I don't find the need to. This lasts forever, and this is in the shade 05 Lovely Frappuccino. La la la. And then what I'll do is just grab my finger and kind of smudge it out so it's not so harsh. Just because I do naturally have pretty big lips, so it looks very dramatic when I do put lip liner on. Like sometimes I feel like my lips are too big, but obviously I can't do anything about it. I was born this way. I have a ton of different lip glosses, but this one is one of the most affordable that I love, and this is the Shayla X ColourPop Neat Freak Gloss. I'm also going to mix that gloss with the iluvsaraii ColourPop lip gloss in the color Curvy. To give my skin a little bit more of a dewy finish, I'm going to use my MAC Fix Plus and just spray that. So this is the finished look. This is what I do on a daily basis. Like I said in the beginning, I know this might be a lot for some of you, but this is just what I do and what I'm comfortable with, and this is like my daily routine. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!